recently what presale is. And I believe you're also wondering what presale is because they've been hearing presale, presale, presale. So they're curious. They want to know what presale really means and how they can take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
So let's start with what presale really is. So what is presale? Presale simply means buying land early before it becomes popular.
Yeah.
That you buy before development is full. You buy before every other person begins to come in. You buy very early at that stage where the prices are at the best, at the lowest ever.
Exactly.
Yeah. So why does it even matter? Why are we even talking about presale? Why are we talking about presale? So the real advantage in real estate is presale, right? Prices don't just jump like overnight. You see a property selling, let's say for 3 million naira, and then you wake up the following morning, it's 7 million. No, it doesn't happen like that. So prices follow development.
Yes.
They follow the roads, the infrastructure, demand, and then visibility.
Exactly.
That is why we're saying you buy before it becomes popular. Before every other person begins to know, begins to hear about the place you're already in. And getting in at this time gives you an advantage or the opportunity to ride on the growth curve.
Exactly.
You know, and when you see other persons smiling when they hear presale or they tell you, oh, I got my property, isn't this estate? Wow, this estate is selling for 100 million. Really?
Yeah.
When I bought this property, it wasn't, oh my God. And then you hear very ridiculous prices and you cannot just match the price with 100 million naira, right? So,
you know, and you know, the concept of presale really fascinates me. Like, it fascinates me. It's how some developers can be as generous as allowing individuals, you know, to partake in the, you know, origin and development of a property. And for being there early, especially when it didn't look like it, you know, usually they are rewarded, and the reward is usually, you know, I mean, literally almost the same kind of value the owner gets. That's the same kind of value, you know, the person gets as well. And so very intentional wealth builders. By wealth builders here, I'm not talking about people that just want to buy real estate for the sake of buying, and that's okay, that's you. But for those that know that they would want to leverage, you know, the vehicle of real estate to increase their personal economy or their family economy or their children's, give a leverage, like the good book says. It says a good man leaves an inheritance, and you want to leave a good inheritance, then, you know, taking advantage of presale, for me, it's a hack. Like, it's literally, it's kind of like having insider information on a trade, you know, something like that, right? And so there are a few things to look out for, or there are a few things that you should know. I mean, before the bells and whistles, before every other person know about this kind of locations, what are the things you should look out for? The first thing is to look out for is early signs of growth. Early signs of growth. In a city like Abuja and most other places in Nigeria, as long as access is heading towards a direction, that is an early sign of growth. What that tells you is that in a matter of time, in just a matter of time, there will be a lot of growth, migration. People will start migrating from the place of high density towards that area, especially for several reasons. For money, in a place like Abuja, that when your landlord calls money like this, and sometimes they even want you to pay 2 years.
2 years upfront and outright.
So usually when people hear about these places, so long as there's access roads, you know, within from that place to their place of work, usually they'll just quickly go there and begin to take their position. Even if they start building gradually, it's okay, so long as they now own, you know, their own place, right? The next thing to look out for in order to, you know, take advantage of these things is is government projects within that environment. You know, sometimes you just hear that the government is doing one or two things there. You hear that, oh, this is happening here. Just Google, like if you check the news, you see this particular place coming up very often, then that is a sign. Another thing, you know, they try to do is that this one now is not them even trying. So usually, once you see early signs of development, once you hear and you see and hear that the government is doing something within that area, all you need to do is go and take possession, hold and wait for the development. The beautiful thing is that time just works for you. Like as long as you buy right, as long as you do the right things, the title and documentation, the person you're buying from, just give it time, right? And time just works for you as the development progresses towards that location.
So, just like you said, every location grows in stages.
Yes.
And it has become a pattern. I would say it's a pattern everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere around the world, right? Every location grows in stages. And if you've observed, I believe you must have noticed it too, right? So it happens right here in Abuja as well. So I'm just going to take you through the stages. And the first stage is that bush untouched stage.
Exactly.
You hear about a location, maybe a property is selling in an area, and you're curious, and then you go to find out, and all you can see is just bush.
I'm telling you.
All you can see is just bush. Like there's nothing really happening, right? But when you look closely behind the scenes, all the government approvals are in place. All the documents are in place.
Yes.
The place has been, I would say, in the case of Abuja, allocated or released by the government, right, to the owner, the individual developer, it could be a company or an individual person, right? All of that is done, but what you can see is just the bush, and then the land looks really, really empty. Okay, so many people at this stage they ignore because they can't really see anything.
Exactly.
They can't see anything visible to hold on to. And then you're telling them this place is selling at this price. And they're wondering, how can I buy bush at this price?
Exactly.
So it is the stage, right? And that's exactly the stage where prices are very, very cheap.
Yes.
And they are very cheap at this stage because it is still the early stage. It is that raw stage when nothing has happened yet. And then the next stage is the pre-sale stage.
Exactly.
I'm really excited about this one, right? So when people start paying attention at this particular stage is when a lot of people begin to pay attention. So right now, if we mention Abuja, you're curious. You want to go and know where Abuja is.
Check on the map.
Check on the map. What are these people saying,
Yes.
right? So this is where people begin to pay attention. The name of the area starts to ring a bell.
Yes.
And then you hear things like, oh, we're working towards the layout design, the site plan, it is out, the developer is preparing to move to site in some cases,
Yes.
right? And then it may look like nothing physically is happening that much, but this is where a lot of people buy. This is where a lot of smart investors or wealth builders, right? Just like you mentioned, this is where wealth builders, this is at that point where they look out for, like, they're just, okay, what's happening in Abuja?
Exactly.
Let me quickly go there before other people, know. Let me also take advantage of this. So at this stage, of course, prices are still low, but it is not for long, right?
Yes.
And then the next stage is that development stage. I would like to add that it is early development stage.
Yes.
At this particular stage now, you start to see things visibly.
Yes.
The developer has moved to site. The clearing has started. Perimeter fencing is going on. The gatehouse is going on.
Yes.
Internal access roads are being constructed. You can, when you come to site, you can see that something is beginning to happen here.
Yes.
Something is forming. There's a transformation happening here already. So at this time, a lot of people are already interested in that area.
Absolutely.
So they are moving in, and buildings are also coming up. You're seeing constructions left, right, center, everywhere, right?
Mhm.
So at this point, the location is getting lots of attention.
Attention.
And this is where prices begin to rise. And they rise with speed.
Yes.
Because at every stage of development, the prices rise.
Yes.
So when there's clearing, the perimeter fencing have just started, the price is going to increase. By the time the perimeter fencing is up already, the gatehouse is up, prices will increase.
Yes.
By the time the internal access roads are being constructed, excavation, foundations are being laid for different buildings, the estate features begin to come into play.
Absolutely.
The price at every of this milestone, the prices rise, right? And the next stage is the fully developed stage. This is a stage where you visit that place and you can clearly see Crystal Estate, Abuja, written on the side, on the gate.
Yeah.
And then you want to enter, the security man is asking, where
are you coming to? Exactly. Exactly.
They're asking you questions like, why are you coming to see? You need to call that person. Let's know if the person is expecting you or you just want to go and disturb that person, right? So this is the stage where everybody wants to be there.
Yeah.
At this stage, they are seeing everything. They are really interested. But I would like to say that if you're interested at this stage, you're late.
Yeah.
Because this is not the stage where you make the highest of returns. You've already passed that stage. The stage where you make the highest of returns ever is at the early stage. That's raw stage, the pre-sale stage, and let's just add the growth stage to it, part of it. And then at this particular stage right now, the prices are now high, and most of the real estate profit, like I said, has already been made. So it is very, very simple. The biggest wins in real estate always happen when prices are at its lowest. They happen at the pre-sale stage where you come in early before it becomes popular. You take advantage of it, and the value of your investment grows with the property.
Exactly. And it's very interesting that, and see, the truth is, this information is not for everybody.
True.
It's not. In fact, like I said earlier, this is like insider information, right? And I know that some people have been burnt, they have trusted some people that tell them they will do things and they didn't eventually do it. And I know that's where some people are. We'll talk about that in a moment. However, let us now discuss how to take advantage of pre-sales. She has just described the stages of development exactly, and where people make money, where people come in, where people exit. Again, this information is not for everybody. It's for you if you're looking to, like I said earlier, intentionally build wealth, personal economy through real estate, right? And that's why I say this is for wealth builders only. And if you just want to buy and own something, it's fine. That's okay too, But if you're looking to build wealth intentionally, right, this is what we are discussing. And this particular video we're talking about is for you. So how do you take advantage of pre-sale, right? We've explained what pre-sale is. We've explained the different stages, but how do you take advantage? First, we don't wait for perfection.
Right.
That's the first thing. And like she said earlier, that stage where, is none and void. Like, you cannot really see much. But behind the scenes, there are things you can ask for or look out for. Those are the things you should ask for. Look out for the integrity of the person behind the project. Number two, look for the title the person has. Does the person even have authority to sell? Right? Do they even have ownership over this place? Number three, ensure that, because at that point, there is no sign. And I know that's where a lot of people are afraid.
Yes.
There's no sign. There's no sign of possession. Exactly. But this is where knowledge comes in. This is where you have people like us. This is where knowledge comes in. All you really need to do is to get a surveyor. Take the coordinates of the place they are telling you.
Yes.
Compare it with the title, with the coordinates on the title, which will be given to you at Ages. Abuja Geographic Information System. They'll give it to you there. So all you need to do is just compare, right? So that you do not know shouldn't be a factor anymore, right? And so you're waiting for perfection because you're not sure. And I get it. to understand it, right? All you actually need to do is to confirm a few of these things. So the first way to take advantage of pre-sales is do not wait for perfection. Number two is you don't also want to buy a place that probably will not grow. Do you get?
Yeah.
Because how would you even know
No,
that this place will grow, right? I know that a couple of people have bought places before in the past,
expecting or
hoping
and
to
believing.
appreciate, and the price, I don't know if the price even going down. Like,
20 years later, nothing
has really happened.
It's just there.
It's just there. And I understand that, right? First of all, this is one of the major reasons I love Abuja for. This is one of the major reasons. Abuja has a plan. And recently, yesterday, we saw that the minister is now upgrading the master plan. He invited Japanese, part of the guys that originally designed the master plan in 1973. He invited them again yesterday. He invited them 2 days ago, so it was in the news early yesterday, and they're just upgrading it. So one of the beautiful things about Abuja, and this is not to say that everywhere must appreciate in Abuja, right, at the same pace. But the beauty is that because the infrastructure is constant, there is a plan, such that there's a blueprint.
Yeah.
Every minister that comes only simply has to just connect and continue the blueprint
with what's
already on ground. That's why you can see no stress. You can see the current minister is doing the ones the other minister did not do. You see, there's a continuation, unlike some other states, and this is not to bash anywhere, where the governor will come and decide to now do a new thing. You now bash the other person.
Just leave it the way the person
abandon it, so that you will not take glory for.
I guess it's a lot of abandoned projects.
But right here, you just continue. So there's a plan, that's the point. And so one of the ways to know an area will grow and appreciate is just to look out for early signs of growth. Like I said earlier, roads, government projects, nearby development. Normally, developers, we in real estate, right? We have our ears on the ground.
Exactly.
So if you start seeing a place, developers are now going to, they know something that you don't know.
Just reach out to them.
Just reach out and find out. Do your own research to ask questions. Another way you can take advantage of pre-sales is to enter at a price you can afford. There's a price for you, so long as it is real estate. There is a price for you. The problem most people have, and sincerely, I've seen this thing happen over and over. Why? What you want versus what you have.
The reality of what you have.
Do you get? Like, I get it that we should have hope and have faith.
Be ambitious.
But I also think that there is a price for you, right? That's why, when people reach out to me, one of the first questions I'll ask you is, what is your budget? I'm not asking you because I want to move your head.
Or they want to weigh you.
Or I want to weigh you. No.
It's just to help you.
It's just to help you look for how you can plug in based on your budget. Right? And there's a place for you, literally. I mean, I'm not talking about 1 million land. There's no more public service announcement. Someone will come to your inbox now and say, we want 800,000 naira land in Abuja. And they want Abuja main town. That does not happen, right? We can get you something.
They need to come to reality.
Exactly.
As well. Those people requesting for 800.
Yes.
You can't get land like that. That's the market value of Abuja.
And the annoying part is that this is where scrupulous individuals take advantage of people.
People who are ignorant.
Yes.
Who do not know.
They don't know. So you want the 800, and you be insisting that they should go and find 800K land. So what those people will do? They'll collect your money.
Yes. So
when you come back 2 years' time, it's somewhere in Kogi. They'll go and put,
And there's nothing you can do about it. And that's why you cannot recover your money.
The money has gone.
And then the investment too
has gone down.
Has gone.
So please, one of the ways to take advantage of pre-sale is to enter at a price you can afford, right? Number 4, right? Number 4 way you can, take advantage of pre-sale is to take advantage of payment plans. You see, one of the beautiful things about buying early is that you can get longer payment plan.
Yeah.
Scratch that. You can get even customized payment plan, much more than people that, that came later. The principle of economics, demand and value, how that value increases according to demand. At that early stage, it's people like you that have insights, that come early. And also the developer usually likes or tries to reward you for believing in the project at that stage, and so you can actually get payment plans at that stage. So I see people come maybe many years later. You're now looking for a property, say in Wuye or in Jahi, that is developed, and you're now asking for a 12-month payment plan. Usually, it can happen sometimes, especially when you're buying off plan, right? But usually, it's not that long. But for pre-sales, you usually get some very good payment plans, especially when you're coming in on time. So take advantage of payment plans, right? That is one way you can take advantage of pre-sales and build wealth through real estate. And then number 5, right? Be patient. Don't come in with an MMM mindset, a pyramid scheme mindset. Real estate is not stocks or forex or crypto, that are very liquid assets, right? I mean, real estate, once you buy right, you always win. Once you buy right, you always win. Time just works in your favor, and that's it. It shouldn't be complicated, right? And I think making money, making and building wealth through real estate is actually just this. These things I just explained now, that's basically what it is. But like I said earlier, lots of people are born. They have been born genuinely. And I understand it. And one of the reasons they were born, sincerely, in my opinion, is knowledge.
True.
You don't know. That is it. And that's why we take our time here in Browdy to educate you as much and as often as possible. I get a lot of comments, and thank you so much for everybody that watches. They keep telling us things like, oh, we explain things very well, we take our time, and that's genuinely because we care about you, right? And let's face the fact, people have been born. And again, the major common mistake people get born is because they don't know how to do their due diligence properly. All right. And if you scroll through this channel, you will see a lot of videos on how to do due diligence. But for today, here are a few common mistakes people make when it comes to investing early, and how to take advantage of pre-sales. Number 1 is that people ignore pre-sales a lot. Again, because of their past experience. And we have taken our time to note some of the things you should do. I said you should look out for the person behind the brand. Number 2, you should investigate the title and the location. Ensure that where they are giving. Do you know that? Someone called me and was telling me about his investment in Guzape 2 here in Abuja. And he said that when it was time, this was maybe like early last year or so, he disturbed for allocation a lot, and they eventually said, yeah, well, let's go and allocate it. he now found out that where he actually bought was almost 1 kilometer from where they showed him earlier.
Can you imagine?
So that's the problem. And that's why a lot of people, are scared of pre-sales before there's clearing, before there's possession, etc. So please just ensure that you do your due diligence properly. Number 2, so when they ignore pre-sales, they now come back when the prices are now higher
and asking questions
for discounts, like, can I get the old price?
The old price.
And these things they are like this for a purpose. They are like this for a purpose. The pre-sales are supposed to help early people that come early. That's the advantage they have over others. Yeah. I mean, you cannot come early and believe in a project and you don't get rewarded more than somebody that came later. It's not possible.
Like someone who wants to buy, for example, a property that is already at the 3rd stage of development.
Exactly.
Right now, and then you're coming in and then you're requesting
For the early price.
Not just the early price, you're requesting for the best plot. Those
are the
benefits of people
coming
who
early.
come in
Exactly.
early, right?
Exactly.
So you can't just come in today at the, let's say, full stage of development, and then you want the best plot location.
Not happening.
It's not possible.
You just get what is available. You know, recently too in Crystal, I have a client that literally took his time to choose his plot. He said, okay, this one, that one. You know, because it was the early stage, you know. So these are the advantages. Early pricing, early stage, you get low pricing, and you get to choose the best locations in the place. And so if you miss taking advantage of pre-sales, you will come back and buy higher, right? You buy higher much later. And then less options. And then you start complaining that real estate is expensive. Who did you this thing? You know?
So just like you said, people make a lot of mistakes, right? But the only way to avoid this thing is to pay attention, to these things was saying. Like you mentioned, a lot of people ignore pre-sale. And I wonder why. So we're currently running a pre-sale right now. And I hope you're not among those ignoring the pre-sale, right? So we have an amazing opportunity for you in Abuja.
Yeah.
So Abuja is a location that is coming up.
Yes.
And based on what we've mentioned, like you said, it ticks almost every box, right? So maybe you should also do your research, reach out to us, ask us questions, and also go back and do your findings.
Due diligence.
Yeah, but we don't have much time because pre-sales, they don't last forever, right? So we have a property in Abuja called Presale Estate. It is new. It is an FCDA titled property, and it is currently at the pre-sale prices.
Yes.
So you can get a plot of 150 square meters right now for 5.3 million, but not for long, because on the 1st of April, it will be selling for 7 million. That's a whooping 30% price increase. Exactly. So coming in right now, you're going to enjoy that 30% increase. You're going to enjoy that, right? Exactly. So if you have questions, if you have concerns or anything you'd like to know about real estate generally, about investing in Abuja, about pre-sale or about Presale Estate Abuja, there's a contact in the description. Yes. Just call us on that number, or you can as well send us a WhatsApp message, and we are here for you to encourage you, to show you, to guide you, to answer all the questions that you have. Exactly.
And so at Presale Estate, we have both the 150, 200, 250, 400, and 750. Interestingly, I think the 250 is selling out fast.
Yes.
Selling out fast. We have the 250 is approved for a 4-bedroom fully detached duplex. It's currently selling at 8.87 million. The 150, like she said, is at the pre-sale price of 5.3. The actual market value from the first is 7 million.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a whooping 30%. So are you a wealth builder, or you want to buy from everyone else?
From the people who buy at 5.3 million and sell it to you later at 20 million.
Exactly. So that's it for us. Like she said, please go on and reach us on the numbers that are showing in the description. And until come your way again, have a beautiful, beautiful day.
An amazing one.
Yes. Bye for now.